What's up, my comic comrades? Today we break down yet another Marvel What If story, and today I'm super excited because it's one of my favorite What If stories of all time. What if the Silver Surfer possessed the Infinity Gauntlet? The whole idea of the story is what if the Silver Surfer was able to successfully take the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline, and the outcome is pretty dope. But with all that said, let's jump right into the story. The issue starts off with a caption saying the Silver Surfer, ever a powerful force for good in the universe. Transformed by the immense might of Galactus, Norrin Radd now wields the power cosmic in service of the just. One of his greatest conflicts and shortcomings is known to you as the Infinity Gauntlet saga. At the behest of Adam Warlock, the Surfer was to snatch the gauntlet from the grasp of its mad owner, Thanos of Titan. He failed. But I am privy to the countless realms containing other outcomes, other ends. I am the Watcher, and I ask, what if the Silver Surfer possessed the Infinity Gauntlet? The Watcher continues to say, in the reality you know, Thanos became power itself, wielding the Infinity Gauntlet to defeat Earth's gathered heroes, as well as the cosmic beings. But his arrogance led to the loss of the Gauntlet. First his self-professed granddaughter Nebula, and ultimately his nemesis Adam Warlock. We shall explore a different chain of events, as the infinite power of the Gauntlet falls to another. As we get a full-page scene Surfer able to take the Gauntlet away from Thanos' hand. Adam Warlock then says, Surfer, we are victorious. The threat is averted. You have done well, Surfer. Now give me the Gauntlet. It must be safeguarded. But Surfer says, I'm sorry, Adam. I won't be able to do that. The Gauntlet represents ultimate power. Such responsibility I could trust to no one but myself, as he puts the Gauntlet on. Adam Warlock then screams, you mustn't, while Thanos says, the power isn't meant for you. Then on the next page, we see a powered-up Silver Surfer wearing the Infinity Gauntlet saying, the power is not meant for me, Thanos. This power is me. As you well know, Thanos, I am the master of power, just as I am the master of space, time, reality, the mind, and the soul. I am the master of all that is, all that was, all that shall ever be. Thanos then replies, you are unworthy of it. Only I am ready for the Gauntlet. Surfer then tells him, no, Titan, only I am worthy. This is not a task I sought, but the burden must be shouldered, beginning with undoing the madness you wrought. As we see Silver Surfer bring back all who suffered and died by Thanos' hand, such as She-Hulk, Wolverine, Cyclops, Scarlet Witch, The Vision, Cloak, Thor, Nova, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Hulk, even Doctor Doom and Nebula, amongst others. And once they're all brought back, Surfer says, all is as it was. Let them return from where they came. Adam then asks, you sent them back to Earth? Surfer replies, yes, and also repaired the destruction caused upon the world. All accomplished with but a thought. The first step in realizing my new universal order. Surfer then puts his attention to the cosmic entities of the Marvel Universe, such as Galactus, saying, you cosmic entities have nothing to fear from my reign. I understand that you are necessary pieces in the design now laid open before me. Take your place in my universe and function as you always have. He continues to say, the rest I have sent back to their respective realms, Galactus. You I have held back in order to pledge that I bear you no ill will because of our past. Galactus replies, I know you, Surfer. I know your faults, your frailties. You're not ready for this. Surfer then replies, I hoped for better from you, Galactus. Your jealousy is unseemly, but how could I truly expect a lesser being to understand what I've become? Be gone, ignorant child. And with a thought, he vanishes Galactus out of existence, which is all kinds of crazy. The Infinity Gauntlet allows you to literally just think of beings like Galactus away. Obviously, we all know this, but it's just crazy when you see scenarios like this. It really puts it in perspective how powerful the Infinity Gauntlet is. Surfer then turns his attention to Adam Warlock and Thanos, saying, only you two remain because I have need of you. You shall be my right hand. As I reshape the universe, I want you to serve as my advisors. Adam Warlock replies, my sole advice is to renounce what you have gained, Surfer. And Thanos says, Warlock speaks truly. I could see the mantle of godhood rests uneasy upon your shoulders. Why not surrender it to someone with the will to wield it? Surfer replies, a selfless offer, Thanos, but I must decline. There's much work to be done, and I insist you accompany me to witness it. At this point, we see the Silver Surfer fix the universe, healing the sick, as well as getting rid of all disease and illness, period. He also gets rid of universal hunger, saying, let the starving know bounty. Then he says, let there be no more hatred or war, let the age of old enemies embrace each other, and finally he says, there will be no more greed or poverty. Let the miserly share their riches. So essentially, he made the universe a utopia where no one is hungry, everyone has money, and disease and sickness doesn't exist. Thanos then asks, will the universe not become crowded with this peace? Will there be no deaths? Surfer responds, of course there will be death, but she will not be as she was. Rather, she will be an alluring guide to a higher place. A being to be cherished, not feared, as we see him turn Marvel's death from a female skeleton Grim Reaper of sorts to a beautiful looking woman. Thanos then says, I like this not at all. Because remember, he's obsessed with death, and I guess he doesn't like flesh on his women. Surfer then tells Thanos and Adam Warlock there is one more task yet left to perform, in the realm of Mephisto, aka Hell. Surfer then goes to Hell and says, show yourself, Liar Prince, at which point he does, and he tells him, I will transform you into a useful, productive being. But Mephisto says, not interested, turning his back, walking away from Surfer. Surfer then says, how dare you? How dare you turn your back on me? as he blasts him with energy. Mephisto responds saying, "I was never much for serving any master," as he retaliates with hellfire from his mouth. But Surfer says, "Too long has a blind eye been turned on your endless machinations. Such neglect is ending now that I rule. If you will not bow, then you must be broken," as he kills Mephisto just by raising his Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos speaks up saying Mephisto is destroyed utterly, with Adam Warlock also saying, "and without remorse." Surfer then turns around saying, "And what of it?" He then tells himself, "No, I must control myself. I do not wish to be a vengeful god. For we have had enough of that." Surfer then says, "Let us return to my platform." Once on his throne, he says, "I need to think, contemplate my next action," while telling Thanos and Adam Warlock to be gone. "I will call you if I have need of you." We then see that Thanos and Warlock were sent to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum. While there, they tell Doctor Strange that the Surfer is in possession of the Infinity Gauntlet, but it must be taken from him as the powers are starting to affect him. Strange tells them, "I am aware of all that has transpired. Your arrival is opportune. We must decide on a plan to remedy the situation." So the three of them start working together, and Doctor Strange tells them, "I have a plan, but ultimately our fate rests in her hands." At this point, Warlock and Thanos are summoned by Surfer, so Strange says, "Luck to us all." Now back on the platform, Warlock and Thanos watch a gigantic Surfer say, "I have pondered my godhood," and reach the obvious conclusion. If I am to properly wield this power, I must truly be God. This then is my true self. I embrace this omnipotence. The universe will be reshaped to suit my divine scheme. The previous randomness of things will give way to complete order, and will be as I desire. Thanos then speaks up saying, "You intend to be more of a tyrant than I ever thought to be." At which point Doctor Strange shows up with Shala, Silver Surfer's love, which is the her Doctor Strange was talking about previously to Warlock and Thanos. Surfer then says, "I am so glad you're here, Shala. Sorry I didn't come for you, but there has been so much to do." She tells him, "It's okay, Norrin, I just need to know you're alright." He tells her, "Of course, I'm omnipotent." She then looks at him and says, "But is this what you want?" He tells her, "Whether I want it or not, it is of no consequence. It is my duty." She answers saying, "But why? Why can't you just be yourself again?" He tells her, "I am God. How would the world get along without me? You are a mere mortal. You cannot comprehend what I have become." She then turns away from him saying, "Then we will forever be apart." But he just grabs her saying, "There is no need for us to ever be separated again. Not when the might that is mine makes all things possible." Then on the next panel, we see her ask Norrin, "What have you done?" He answers, "I have granted you half of my power, beloved. Now hand in hand, we shall rule all creation." At this point, Warlock turns to Strange saying, "Are you sure we have not erred, Stephen?" He answered, "She knows what must be done." Then on the next panel, she grabs Surfer by the face saying, "Norrin, my love, now that you have made me your equal, you must listen to me. You must give up this power. Such was never meant to be placed in the hands of any mortal, no matter how noble his soul. Please, only tragedy awaits us." He answers, "I cannot. I will not. Surely you see there is no one else who can be trusted with this burden. No one who is worthy." She answers, "No, I only see that you have been seduced by this power. You cherish it more than you cherish me. You are no longer the kind, gentle soul I knew, Norrin, and so I must oppose you," as she blasts his face with energy beams from her eyes. He then says, "You strike me with the power I gave you?" She says, "Norrin, it doesn't have to be this way." He then backhands her with the Infinity Gauntlet saying, "You ungrateful witch, this is how you thank me for making you a god? Do you have the insolence to question my will, much less betray me? You profess love for me, yet you challenge my supremacy." She replies, "I challenge you because I love you, Norrin, because I loved who you used to be." He then backhands her again saying, "Who I used to be was nothing compared to what I am now. I gave you a chance to recognize that and become part of it. You refused me. I have no choice but to judge you a threat to my rule and eliminate you." And as he's about to kill her by raising the Infinity Gauntlet, she then says with tears in her eyes, "I prayed it wouldn't be this way, but no matter what you've become, Norrin, I will always love you." But before he can kill her, he drops his hand staring at the Infinity Gauntlet saying, "Have I lost my mind? What manner of monster has this gauntlet made me that I would destroy the most precious thing in all the universe? I now understand the possibility of God. Such absolute power is destined to corrupt absolutely. Can you forgive me, Shala?" She replies, "Of course, my love, as long as you are mine again." Silver Surfer then turns to Strange saying, "Stephen, I cannot repay you for delivering Shala Ball back to me." He replies, "She brought you back to sanity. It is payment enough. And now, Surfer, what will you do?" He responds, "You know the answer to that. We will do what we must. The only noble thing to be done with ultimate power is to turn it against itself. Farewell." As he raises the Infinity Gauntlet and kills both of them. Strange, Warlock, and Thanos then look at the Shattered Gauntlet on the ground, with them saying they sacrificed themselves to assure they did not become celestial despots. Strange then says no greater love has a man than to lay down his life for his fellow man, with Thanos saying, "I'll admit, I'm impressed." Once Strange and Warlock leave, Thanos picks up the remains of the Shattered Infinity Gauntlet saying, "So close," before dropping it on the ground and staring into space saying, "So very close." Then on the final page of the comic, we see a voice say, "So beautiful here, like paradise." We then see this is Shala speaking to Norrin saying, "This is what we always wanted, isn't it?" He answers, "All we've ever wanted, Shala, and no one could take it away from us." Meaning Surfer didn't kill himself or Shala, but instead made himself human again and wished them away to a far unknown planet where they could live the rest of their days alone in peace. The Watcher then finishes up the comic saying, "I watch and see lovers unite on a nameless deserted planet. far from anyone who would disturb them. Before rejecting their godly power, Norrin, Rad, and Shalla created this idyllic world. Here, unknown to all but each other, they will live out their normal mortal lives together at last. Who could begrudge them such happiness in any reality? And with that, the comic ends. And there we have it, friends. That's what would have happened if the Silver Surfer was able to take the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos during the Infinity Gauntlet saga. Again, this is one of my all-time favorite what-if stories. It's just really well done and cool to see someone with the best intentions can be corrupted with absolute power. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think of this what-if story? Let us know down in the comments. And that's going to bring today's episode of Variant to a close. But if you like today's video, be sure to check out this one right here. And if you like all of our content, subscribe, like, and comment. It always helps us out. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.